right, it is Thursday, October 20th, and we are back with some Thursday night, Friday night picks for you guys on the Thursday night, Friday night special. Douglas, for the first time in 3 weeks, the Thursday night game might not be a stinker. Might not. I'll throw it might not be a stinker.
Might is strong because I
and
think it could stink.
It has potential not to stink like the last two have, but
They won't
nevertheless,
smell that bad.
the 2-4 New Orleans Saints head to the 2-4 Arizona Cardinals. Both teams desperately need a win. 2-5 is almost a death sentence to whoever loses this one. So Cardinals are 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 43.5. Douglas, your thoughts?
Yeah, I will be taking the Cardinals -2.5 here. I actually got it last night at -1.5, where I loved it. I still love 2.5. That's fine. Field goal, I think they can cover that. DeAndre Hopkins is back.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore is not playing. That's big red flags. If you're a New Orleans Saints fan, that's not going to be good. This guy's been wanting to play. He's been working out. I follow him on Instagram. He's been working hard these 6 weeks. So he's going to come in. It's not like he's going to be on some snap restriction, I'm sure. I think he's been eligible to practice with the team for the last 2 weeks. So he's had contact of some sort. I think he'll be ready. I think that even without James Conner being there, the Saints are going to be missing their two of their three most crucial players, and Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry not being that crucial, but a crucial piece when you're down men already at that position, and Marshawn Lattimore. So I like the Cardinals here -2.5.
Yeah, Saints are just a little too banged up for me. I mean, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Andrews Pete, Adam Troutman, Marshawn Lattimore all being out. That's just tough to recover from. I don't care who you have playing quarterback. Paulson Adebo and Peyton Turner are also questionable. Those are two defensive starters for them. I don't like the Saints team on the road. I think the Saints just overall play better at the Superdome. Cardinals are coming off 2 straight losses. I think some desperation has set in with this team. They need this win. They're at home to get any sort of life going into your season. You have Hopkins coming back. It's going to be that crowd is going to be pumped up to try to help save their team's season. Also, question: do you think Kingsbury's seat is kind of hot right now?
If they lose this game, I could see him getting fired. Actually,
Yeah, that's. I don't think enough people are talking about how bad
he should be on the hot seat.
Yeah. And then just some stats for you. I'm also taking the Cardinals as well. If I forgot to mention, I'm taking them -2.5. In the last 8 meetings between these teams, the home team is 7-1 against the spread.
Wow.
So I love that for the Cardinals. And let me get one more. The Cardinals are 15-5-1 against the spread in their last 21 games in October. So
wow.
They do pretty well in October. So yeah, we're both on the Cardinals. I don't know how I feel about that I'm taking the same pick as you, but I guess it is what it is.
Hey, we'll be all right.
Let's move into some Thursday night props. Douglas, you have 3, I have 2, so let's do the 2-man weave here.
Okay.
First.
Yeah, my first play, I'm taking DeAndre Hopkins anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm not really too certain what the odds are. I'd assume it's plus money. Barely. It's probably plus 110, 120, something of that nature. If I had to take a rough guess, I can pull it up while I'm continuously
Go ahead.
talking.
Go ahead. You go ahead, talk. I'll bring it up. Go ahead.
Okay. Dude, no Lattimore. It's gonna be bad. Like I could see him going for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first game back, and like making a statement like, "Hey, I'm here."
It's plus 125.
Okay.
On FanDuel.
Yeah, so you bet 50, you make more than what you bet back off of it when it hits. So
I am taking a Cardinal with my first player prop. Listen, I understand Hopkins is back. I understand he's not coming off an injury, but a suspension, so he should be 100% ready to go. Still think someone needs to replace a little production from Hollywood Brown. I think that's going to be Rondell Moore. So while I don't think they're going to rush Hopkins. I think Hopkins will play enough for the Cardinals to win. I don't know if he plays every snap like he normally would. It takes a while to get back into game shape. I don't care how much you've been working out, Hopkins. So I'm taking Rondell Moore over 47.5. Someone needs to step up in that Hollywood Brown role. No Lattimore, possibly no Paulson Adebo. More feast at home with Kyler Murray going off.
No, I don't hate that at all. Rondell Moore, especially because he's been getting carries out of the backfield and they've
Mhm.
been designing things for him to come out of the backfield on passes with Connor being hurt. So that's a really good play. Next, I'm taking D Hop over 60.5 receiving yards. He could hit that in a play. I mean, he
Yeah.
really could. I think that he's going to go nuts, even if he is on a limited snap count. Don't think it's going to matter. I don't think there's anyone on that team that can guard him. And even if they do guard him, we've seen him go up and just make
Mhm.
unbelievable contested catches before. Murray's got his guy back. As good as Hollywood Brown was, even if he was still there, I think D Hop would steal the majority of target shares anyway.
Mhm.
So that loss is big in its own way, yes, because you lose a speed demon, but you get this guy back, and I'm sure Kyler would prefer Hopkins over Brown. I love him here at over 60.5. If you don't feel comfortable taking him on his base over under, you could tease him down to 50 alternate. It's probably minus like 240. So the odds aren't going to be nearly as good, but you could take him over 50 yards instead. I like him at 60.5, though.
My second player prop is Marquez Callaway over 29.5 receiving yards. He led the Saints wide receivers in targets last week. I get it. Olave is going to play this game. He didn't play last week. I understand that. Um, Callaway is one of those guys who feel like, especially on Sundays, I'll turn like I'm watching Red Zone. I'm watching like a normal broadcast of a game. I just look up and Callaway's on an 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
He is there. I understand Olave gets. Oh, by the way, if you haven't looked into these numbers, Olave has 42 targets this season through 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess who? Can you guess who has the next number two amount of targets and the second most? And how many they have? Second most targets and how many targets they have after
I'd ha-
Olave.
I'd have to guess Michael Thomas, and he hasn't played but
It's
3 games.
not Michael Thomas.
No.
No,
Kamara?
it is Kamara, and it is what number?
Oh boy. 20.
26.
Jeez.
So Chris Olave has 16 more targets than anyone else on the team. It's pretty
Man.
good.
Yeah.
Marquez Callaway, yeah, he's a little bit down, but no Landry, no Thomas. So active wise, he'll be fourth in targets on the team. I think he's a deep shot guy. 29. I don't think it's crazy. He hits it one play, maybe 2 plays. But again, he led the team in targets last week. So I think Andy Dalton is looking his way.
Okay. And my last one here, this is a safer bet for anyone who wants to take it. It is an alternate. I'm going to the Saints here. Give
Mm-hmm.
me Alvin Kamara, alternate over 50 rushing yards. Cardinals' run defense is terrible. Terrible. Their pass coverage is pretty decent, it seems. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Byron Murphy's had a really good season sneakily. He's done very well. So I could see him keeping Olave in check. I could see also, I'm not sure what Kamara's receiving yards are at. I probably would like it. I couldn't find it earlier. The prop just wasn't up yet. I would probably be taking that if it's anything under 30, I would take it. But I'll alternate this because this is one of those games where I could see the Cardinals jumping out early and then they just don't run the ball. The Saints won't.
Yeah.
They're just going to start throwing it. So
Yep.
that's why I'm teasing it down a little bit from what the over is. I think it might be about 60.5, 62.5, something of that nature. I like Kamara just to hit that 50 threshold. And I think it's a really safe spot. It's probably minus 240. And if you parlay all of our picks, you're going to win. So
I hope so. That'd be nice. Moving into college football, we have some college football games this weekend. Not the best early slate of college football, but can't wait for action. I can't wait to just come home and watch Bowling Green versus Eastern Michigan on a Tuesday night when you know they don't want to be there.
they
The
don't.
best. Um, Douglas, how many college plays do you have?
I have 4.
I have 4 as well. I'll start off. Georgia Tech, UVA. I'm taking Georgia Tech minus 3.5. I'm taking the over in the game. In the last 4 matchups between these teams, the over is 4-0. The home team is 15-5-1 against the spread in the last 21 meetings. The Cavaliers are just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. They are 4-0, or sorry, they are 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 games following a straight up loss. Georgia Tech has just consistently gotten better since firing Jeff Collins. Both teams were off last week. It should be good for the offenses. Reset those offenses, get some new plays in, get some new looks, new concepts. Should do things to those defenses. It's going to be a beautiful night in Atlanta, floating around 65 degrees. Love the over. Love Georgia Tech. I think at least one of those hits. I think Georgia Tech wins the game no matter what, but if UVA can score 24 points, you're solid.
Yeah. So my play, I have one in this game as well. I'll be taking Georgia Tech -3.5 as well. As you alluded to, Virginia 1-6 in its last 7 against the spread. That's terrible. I mean, that is 3-4 is not good, let alone 1-6. Okay. Jeff Sims, I think, is very underrated at the quarterback.
Very good athlete.
He is. Another thing, Georgia Tech, since firing their head coach, they were 21.5-point dogs against Pitt, won outright. And they beat Duke as 3.5-point dogs as well. So this team's starting to find a little groove after firing that guy. Like, you could see that maybe he was the problem, and that's what teams play for.
Absolutely.
So I love him here. And one thing about Virginia's quarterback, Brennan Armstrong, he ranks 5th lowest in the nation in QBR this season. It's a 35.
Yeah.
A 35. He's 3 points away from being dead last.
The crazy thing is he was actually somewhat decent last year.
He was very good last year, and then they brought in some guy from Clemson. And under him, since he's been there, he's regressed so much. I was reading the article about it last night, and I said, oh, my God, you would think that would make him better. But, yeah, I love Georgia Tech -3.5 here, too. And right now, if you take it on FanDuel, it's plus money.
There you go. My last 2 plays, Douglas, going to the well with your most hated team of last week. I'm taking the UAB Blazers +1.5 at Western Kentucky. I'm also taking the over 57.5. UAB has the 8th best rushing offense in the country. Western Kentucky has the 33rd best run defense in the country. But Douglas, let's play our favorite game. What's our favorite game?
Well, tell me.
But who have they played? Who has Western Kentucky played to earn that 33rd ranked rushing defense?
Good point.
Hawaii ranks 87th in rushing offense. Indiana ranks 126th in rushing offense. FIU 115th. Troy 125th. UTSA 74th. Middle Tennessee State 117th. All the teams they played are outside the top 50 in rushing offense. This is easily the best rushing offense they will play. They will not be able to stop UAB on the ground. But Western Kentucky has the 6th ranked passing offense in the country by yards and 31st in efficiency. UAB is 15th in passing yards allowed, 3rd in efficiency. I think UAB will be able to run the ball down their throat and score it well. I think they put up probably a 40-burger in this one, even on the road. Okay. I just need all you need if UAB can put up 38-42. All you need is 3 scores by Western Kentucky. Should be good enough. They're a top 20 offense in the country. UAB will be able to run the ball. Western Kentucky will be able to move the ball just enough because they're at home. And for the spread pick, the Blazers are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 road games versus a team with a winning record. The Blazers are also 7-1 versus a team with a winning record straight up.
Okay. I will be taking Western Kentucky -1.5.
Ooh, head-to-head on Friday night.
I'm going to take them. UAB's total offense is 35th to Western Kentucky 16th. UAB's total defense is much better than Western Kentucky's. They rank 20th. Western Kentucky is 53rd. Big, substantial drop-off there. So UAB's defense only allows 17.3 points a game. Western Kentucky averages 40 a game. Western Kentucky is 5-2 against the spread. UAB is 3-3 against the spread in their last 6. I also like the under of 57.5. I think it's going to be one of them weird middle of the week games. I got a weird feeling it's going to be tight. It's going to be gritty. I don't like the over. The over, anytime I've taken it this year. Now, speaking figuratively, I'm more so talking pros. I don't really touch overs in college, and when I do, they do hit. Something about this just screams like stay away from it for me. So if I had to pick a side, I would take the under. I'm going to take the under, I think.
Okay.
I'll add that in. I'm going to take the under 57.5 and Western Kentucky.
We're going completely flip-flop on this one.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. That should be interesting then.
I'm excited to watch that game, though. That's going to be a good one.
That should decide a lot in Conference USA.
Troy versus South Alabama. You probably didn't like this game, I'm assuming, because you didn't touch it.
No.
Troy's quarterback Gunnar Watson ranks 25th in yards per game and yards per completion. He's top 25 in both. South Alabama ranks 66th against the pass. Troy 67th. They're very neck and neck. South Alabama's run defense, though, is 12th, and Troy's is 25th. Long story short here, the only thing I see killing South Alabama and not covering, that's my pick, South Alabama minus 3.5, if I didn't allude to that. The only thing that will kill them, they are 114th in penalties taken.
Yikes.
They take a lot of penalties. If they can limit their penalties, I think this is an easy cover. Their total offense is 28th to Troy 70th. I mean, just if you look at every statistical measure, pretty much, they're better by whether it's a hair or a margin. They're better in everything.
Yep.
So I like South Alabama minus 3.5 as well. That is my last play, though.
All right. I like that we're going head to head on Friday because it's something to look forward to.
It does.
All right. That was it for the Thursday night, Friday night special. Thank you guys for watching. Our episode 16 with our full betting card will be out later this week. Thank you guys for watching. Probably good things for people.
Just please go follow our social medias, like, share, and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching.
Awesome. We'll see you guys.